Good day, everybody. So, I've been seeing a lot of talk about Rapture 2025 all over social media, and people claiming they've had dreams and confirmations and all sorts of non biblical confirmations. And I'm not saying that God can't work through dreams and visions and inspiration. Yes, He can. What I am saying is that he will not go against what his Bible says. So, if he's going against what the Bible says, that means that either the Bible is false or your confirmation is false. That's how logic dictates. Um, so let me break down something that I found. It's Matthew 24. Let me pull it up. Matthew 24. We're just gonna read the whole chapter, or at least the first half and some. I'm reading out of the New American Standard Bible. I like it because it is considered one of the most direct translation, like word for word translation. So there's a lot less leaven in it. Um, okay, verse 1. Matthew 24, verse 1. Jesus left the temple area. Okay, so he's at the temple area. He left the temple area and was going on his way when his disciples came up to point out the temple building to him. But he responded and said to them, "Do you not see all these things? Truly I say to you, not one stone here will be left upon another which will not be torn down." And as he was sitting on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and the end of the age?" And Jesus answered and said to them, "See that no one misleads you, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and they will mislead many people. And you will be hearing of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for those things must take place, but that is not the end. But that is not yet the end. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. But all these things are merely the beginning of birth pains. Then they will hand you over to tribulation and kill you, and you will be hated by all nations because of my name." Okay, let's pause there. Who is Jesus talking to? Well, verse 1, Jesus left the temple area and was going on his way when his disciples came up to point out the temple building to him. He's speaking to his disciples. Okay, I've heard the argument that that some subsect of Christians believe that he is talking to Jews. He is technically talking to Jewish people, yes, but these aren't religious Jews. These are Christians. These are his disciples. These are the people. Excuse me. These are the people who went off to start the church after his ascension. He's talking to his church. He's not talking to. This is not. This is not a group of random Jewish people. These are his disciples. So he's talking to the church. They will hand you over to tribulation and kill you. He's talking to the church. And you will be hated by all nations because of my name. Why would the Jews subscribe to his name? I see a lot of logical fallacy in the pre-trib argument. Verse 10. And at that time, many will fall away, and they will betray one another and hate one another. And many false prophets will rise up and mislead many people, like pre-trib pastors. And because lawlessness is increased, most people's love will become cold. But the one who endures to the end is the one who will be saved. Let me say that again. But the one who endures to the end is the one who will be saved. Does that sound like pre-trib? Does that sound like that aligns with pre-trib? These are words straight out of the mouth of the Messiah. If you don't like them, then maybe you need to wrestle with your own faith. I don't know what to tell you. This is straight out of the Bible. I'm not even preaching right now. I'm literally just reading. Verse 14. This gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in the whole world as a testimony to the nations, and then the end will come. Verse 15. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation, which was spoken of through Daniel the prophet, standing in the holy place, let the reader understand, then those who are in Judea must flee to the mountains. Okay, I'm a reader, and here's what I understand. Those in Judea must flee to the mountains, and those who are not in Judea must also flee to wherever their nearest wilderness is. GTFO, bro. Verse 17, whoever is on the housetop must not go down to get things out of his house, and whoever is in the field must not turn back to get his cloak. But woe on those women who are pregnant, and to those who are nursing babies in those days. Moreover, pray that when you flee, it will not be in winter or on a Sabbath. For then there will be a great tribulation, such as not occurred since the beginning of the world until now, nor ever will again. And if those days had not been cut short, no life would have been saved, but for the sake of the elect, those days will be cut short. Then if anyone says to you, behold, here's the Christ, or he is over there, do not believe him. For false Christs and false prophets will arise, and will provide great signs and wonders, so as to mislead, if possible, even the elect. Behold, I have told you in advance. So if they say to you, behold, he is in the wilderness, do not go out. Or, behold, he is in the inner rooms, do not believe them. For just as lightning comes from the east and flashes as far as the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever the corpse is, there the vultures will gather. Verse 29. But immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not... Like, it's right there, man. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of heaven will be shaken, and the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of the sky with power and great glory. And he will send forth his angels with a great trumpet blast, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the sky to the other. That's the rapture, right there. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall, and then a blast, and then the angels' rapture. It's right there. Verses 29 through 31. Go read it yourself. I'm a liar. Don't listen to me. Go read it yourself. There is no pre-trib rapture. Don't fall for it. Do not be deceived. There is no pre-trib rapture. Like I'm stressing this so heavily because I can see the future. All right, dude, I can see it. And here's what's going to happen. A bunch of pre-tribbers are going to realize, "Oh crap, it's the tribulation. What else do we have wrong?" Now, those who are strong in their faith and just have eschatology wrong, they'll be fine. But all of the newbies, because like pre-trib likes to grab new ones, all the newbies are going to be like, well, they were wrong on this one. What else are they wrong on? Let me just go get this chip or whatever. Let me go get this mark of the beast. You guys are doing the work of the devil. Quite literally. Quite literally, man. There's been a lot of talk in social media about people having dreams and visions and confirmations. And I saw this one guy, he was He asked God for confirmation of, he was driving or whatever, and he asked God to show him the number 23 somewhere. And so he found it on a license plate. Yeah, bro, that's how the human mind works. You start looking for something, you find it. Confirmation. Can you hear the fire alarm? Confirmation right there. Nothing happens by accident. I didn't set that up. So either that's random, or God set that up to reinforce what I just said to you. I hate pre-trib doctrine so much. It's so backwards. It ignores so much literal text right off the page and then makes up its own stuff. I don't know how you guys can sit there and honestly preach that stuff and teach that stuff and then call yourself a follower of Christ. It's disgusting. It's shameful. It's gross. It is the act of wolves, man. There's two options. There's two routes that I see. Um, how people get into pre-trib. It's either A, they never actually read the Bible and studied it properly, or or they have low uh, uh, capability of remembering. It's a big book. Okay, it's a couple thousand pages. It's hard to remember everything. I give you that. So they've either never read it or have low capacity, or they do know that what I just said to you is, I mean, it is straight off the page. They do know what the Bible says, and they just go, I don't like what it says. I'm gonna make up my own stuff. And then they go into this whole, well, you got to read the whole Bible to be, and you got to look at the Jewish wedding feasts, and you got to look at the this and that and the other thing. And fine, sure, yes, yes, yes. Look at, it's good to zoom out and look at the whole thing and see what the whole thing is saying. But you cannot go against anything that is directly written, and you pre-tribbers do that all the time. The first step of biblical study is you have to accept what it says on the page. Then you start reading in between the lines. You don't ignore what's on the page and go, yeah, well, I don't like that. That must not mean that doesn't fit with my understanding. Your understanding came from yourself, bro. I, you're full of it. Pre-tribbers are full of it, man. They don't know what they're talking about. And I don't want to speak bad on the people. I'm not, they're just people. Everybody messes up. Everybody has flaws. Everybody, nobody's perfect. Nobody's a super genius and capable of understanding the entire Bible. Okay, fine. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it can be done. I think it takes a lot of effort. But fine. You don't want to take it seriously. You just want to go to church on Sunday and listen to what your pastor says and whatever else. And pre-trib teaches escapism. Tickling of ears, man. In the end times, they will not give ear to sound doctrine, and instead they will listen to doctrines that tickle their ears. That's exactly what pre-trib is, bro. And I've seen pre-tribbers get angry at me when I bring that up. When I bring up the fact that you're wrong, and here's what the Bible says, and here's what the timeline. Jesus gave the timeline. The timeline was abomination of desolation and then rapture. There's a bunch of other stuff, but abomination of desolation and then rapture. And then you go read Daniel, and you see abomination of desolation is the moment when the Antichrist goes into the temple and claims to be God in front of everybody. Have we seen that yet? No. No, we have not seen that yet. So either that's going to happen between now and September 23rd so that then a rapture can happen on September 23rd, or everybody who's having rapture dreams of September 24th or 3rd, Feast of Trumpets 2025, they're not living in truth, bro. The human mind is capable of all sorts of stuff, including lying to yourself. And the more you see more stuff coming in on you, and the more that you see subconscious things hitting you, the more that your brain goes, yeah, well, it must be true. I saw 400 people have dreams about September 23rd. That means it must be September 23rd. And then you have a dream about September 23rd. Oh, that's confirmation. And then you go read Matthew 24 and you go, oh, yeah, well, that doesn't line up. Clearly your dream was wrong, bro. I'll tell you what. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. On September 24th, come back and subscribe to my channel. And I won't even demand that you admit that you were wrong or apologize for all of your deception to the ones who are like pushing this, to the ones who just believe in it. I won't even demand that you apologize for your foolishness or that you were deceived or that you were. I won't do any of that. I will welcome you with open arms and we will go study what the actual Bible says. Because you guys are full of it, man. You pre-tribbers are biblically illiterate or incompetent or downright deceitful, actively deceitful. I really hope it's not that last one. I really hope you guys are operating from a state of foolishness and just laziness that you just didn't go read it. I really hope that's what it is, because if you are actively teaching pre-trib while knowing full well that it's nonsense, shame on you. Shame on you. But that only goes out to the so-called pastors that are preaching that stuff. To the people who got fooled by it, I welcome you with open arms. I don't, no condemnation to you guys. Full condemnation to any pastor who's teaching this nonsense. Full condemnation. In fact, catch me outside. How about that? But everybody else who just fell for this nonsense, because, I mean, it sounds good. It does sound good. I wish pre-trib was true. I wish we could just get out of here. I wish we didn't have to deal with all of this. But if pre-trib is true, then Jesus is a liar. You guys really need to wrestle with that. Jesus flat out broke down the high level overview of the timeline, and the rapture happens after the abomination of desolation. So if the rapture happens before, and we know the abomination of desolation happens in midway through the tribulation, the last 7 years of Jacob's trouble. We know that. I forget what that is in the Bible. I can make another video on that if people really want to hear about it. But we know that. That is flat out truth. And now Christ just gave the timeline of where the rapture is in comparison to the abomination of desolation. So if, in fact, there is a pre-trib rapture, then Christ is a liar. And if Christ is a liar, what else has he lied about? You probably shouldn't put stock on him then. I'm not claiming he's a liar. I'm claiming you pre-trib pastors are liars. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. Pastors. You pre-trib pastors. Shame on all of you. Because you guys are in a position of leadership. You will be judged to a higher standard. That's in the Bible. I do not envy your position, especially the ones who are teaching falsity. I really don't envy your position. You guys are fools to the upteenth degree. Stupid. You guys are stupid. Pre-trib rapture pastors. Stupid. You are not biblically literate. Go read the Bible. Get out of my face and go read the Bible. I'm being rough right now. I'm being rude right now. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be. But you guys get me riled up. You guys really get me, like, my people will be destroyed for lack of knowledge. Yeah, because of pre-trib teaching doctrine pastors. Light me up in the comments. Tell me how I'm wrong. Call me a false prophet. Call me a fake Christian. Call me a wolf in sheep's clothing. Call me everything you want to call me. And then on September 24th, come back and subscribe to my channel, because clearly I was correct. When you're done hating me, remember that I do love you. And I'm saying this so that you guys can hear the truth, so that you can take the blinders off your eyes, so that you can walk in actual honest truth. Because pre-trib is deception. It is a lie. It is a lie. It is a lie. It is a lie. It is not in the Bible anywhere. I've argued with pre-trib people time and time again, and I've asked straight up, like, hey, can you find an actual source anywhere in the Bible that actually points to it? I've pointed to it, post-trib. I've pointed to it, or not post-trib, the end of the, post-mid-trib. We'll call it that. I don't know. I'm not an I'm not an millennialist or whatever that is. The rapture will happen moments prior to the second coming, technically during the same event. If you just want to zoom out just a tiny little bit, technically during the same event. Pre-trib is so disgusting. I hate it. 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 It's gross. It sounds good. It sounds pretty. It sounds awesome. But it is factually gross. Please wake up. I'll see you on the 24th.